Hey, stop rolling away. All right, guys. That mower's so annoying. All right, guys, so hopefully you can hear me well enough. There is a mower in the background, but I have these headphones on, and hopefully it'll work. So today I'm out here. This is Lola, the Project 4runner, and I was doing some work on her. I was doing the axle swap and swapping it out between this and Roxy, my 4runner, and in that process I noticed one of these dash lights was out. And I've had a ton of stuff going on, so both the 4runners have just been sitting for a while, but today is the day. I finally went to the Toyota dealership and got all the necessary parts. Just one part, it's just a light bulb. But I figured I would show you how to rip apart the dash and replace the light bulb in case you didn't know how to do it. It's a very simple process. Thanks to Toyota making everything so easy. This is really all the tools you're gonna need. I probably don't even need one of those. I think I just need a 10. I don't know, we'll find out soon. But we're just gonna jump in here, rip apart the dash. I'll show you the light bulb, and hopefully I think it should have the part number on it. I'll try to link that down below in the description. But that is today's project. So let's stop the yapping, let's jump right into it and get her done. So there's the lights. I'll try to turn this on. Yeah, you probably can't see that at all because it's the daytime. But this whole section, this right side of the speedometer, as well as sort of a little bit of the fuel gauge at nighttime with the headlights on, that is the section. I think there's maybe 3 or 4 lights in the back of this cluster that actually light up the full gauges. And so this one right here, I'll show you once we open it up. But that one is the one we're replacing. So got to rip some of this stuff off, and yeah, that should be it. So to start off, we got these 2 10mm bolts, one right there, one over there, and then there's actually 2 more bolts, one here and one here. So there's 4 bolts all together. Here it is. I just like tossing it in this center cup holder thing, and with that out of the way, probably want to take that out as well, but I think, yeah, there we go. So if I were going to be doing more work on this whole area, there is the hood cable and the gasoline cable down there that you could disconnect, and then there's also these 2 connectors that hold on the alarm switch. But because I'm not going to really be spending much time here, I'm just going to let that sort of hang off to the side. It's not going to hurt it, just make sure you sort of prop it up. And like I said, Toyota makes everything easy. That should just pop off, friction fit. And that is also a little lock nut sort of thing. It's a 12mm, it's super easy. It should just be kind of hand tight, so I'll go like that. Loosen that sucker out of the way. Over here, you're gonna rip this thing off. This just pulls out like that. A couple clips. Before we can pop this main black panel off, there is a Phillips head screw right there, and a Phillips head screw right there. So we've gotten those 2 bottom screws out. Also on the top there is going to be 2 more screws, one right here, and on the other side of the dash, one, can you see that? Right there. So those are just there and there. You can totally just reach up with a screwdriver like this. So this is going to be a little tricky one-handed probably, but at this point you should just be able to pop this off. I'm actually going to lower this steering wheel down a little bit. Just pops out like this. You can remove that whole thing. There you go. And now all we have is the gauge cluster, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now do take note of these screws. These screws that are coming out of the gauge are flat on the top. The screws that you took out before from that black panel over there are actually pointed like that. So you could probably mix them up and be okay, but just make sure to separate them out so everyone's happy. There I have all the rest of the hardware, and here are my 4 new screws. Now once those are out, you should just be able to pull this whole cluster out. And I'm gonna do it with 2 hands off camera just because there are a couple points where you sort of need to get it at the right angle, but super easy to pull out. Just be careful not to yank on it. There are quite a few wires actually connecting on the back side. Here are all the connectors that you unplug from the back. You could probably actually do this job with those still connected and the dash just sitting up here, but it's going to be easier with it out, and for the sake of the video to show you, I wanted to get this whole thing out. Like I said, here is the bulb that is burnt out. All you need to do is twist it. So we're just going to twist it counterclockwise, and it just pulls right out, just like that. Here is the old bulb on the right compared to the new bulb on the left. As you can see, almost identical. This one just has a little bit of wear and tear on it. Obviously it's blown out, so that should be a direct fit. If you need the part number, here's the bag I got, 90010-06034. I'll see if I can find that and link it in the description. Like I said, I just got this at the dealership. I think it was only a couple bucks. Also, you can see here are the rest of your gauge cluster bulbs for like engine light and fuel light and ABS and a million different things. So those are all those. If you ever need to replace those, we're just going to get rid of this old bulb and put in the new bulb. Just put it back in, give it a little twist, and that's in. So I've now reinserted the gauge cluster, but as you notice, I haven't actually screwed it in, so it's just sort of sitting there. And what we want to do now is obviously double check that everything is connected properly and all your lights are showing up. And then of course, it's going to be kind of hard to see here in the daytime, so just double check that your repair actually worked. There's headlights off, there's headlights on, and it looks all good to go. So if that's all good, you can basically do this disassembly in reverse and assemble everything back together. Screws, bolts, and lots of little plastic clips. So let's get this button back up, and that should do it. Alright, so I've actually pulled the car into the garage, and the reason being, well, you can see it's dark, so we can actually see the lights now. So obviously it is working. In fact, it is working a little too well. It's probably a little hard to see on camera, but this new bulb is actually a bit different color than the old ones. The old ones are sort of a more almost tan color, a more tan sort of green, and this new one is both more vibrant green as well as it's a little bit brighter. So if you really care about that, you could probably take the old sort of bulb condom off the old one, and maybe that would change the color. Or you could replace all the bulbs in the dash. I know a lot of people replace them with LEDs and whatnot. I don't personally like LEDs. But this doesn't bug me at all. Honestly, it's kind of cool. It gives a little bit of a gradient on your speedometer. So there we go. Obviously the new bulb works, and job well done. Alright folks, well that was it. That's how you take apart the dash on a 3rd gen 4runner, and in this case replace one of the gauge cluster bulbs. But there's other maintenance you might need to do on the gauge cluster. So hopefully that was helpful. Like I said, I will link that bulb down in the description below. If you have any other questions related to this project or any other project, if you want to see any other videos from me, let me know down in the comments. And I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Say bye, Lola. Say bye. Bye.